Titans born from Uranus and Gaia in Greek mythology. Their name means those with 100 arms. During the War of the Titans, Zeus freed them from the underworld to help him obtain victory.
Hello Internet, I'm HamsterBomb.
And I'm Kimothy.
And this is Demonica, your Shin Megami Tensei Demon Compendium, where we look at the real-life lore that influenced the designs behind the series' demons. And tonight, the moon is hidden in shadow. It is a new moon tonight as we make this episode. Meaning, from my understanding, that makes it far more likely that your fusions actually succeed. And there's many demons who are excited when you talk to them during a new moon. They're like, I can't hear the voices anymore. Except,
but they are the voices.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, dear listener, you can't escape these voices. We are stuck with you. Kim, what religious, mythological, historical, fictional, cryptozoological character or concept will we be summoning tonight?
I feel like you need to shorten that.
No, I absolutely shouldn't. How could I?
Hecatoncheires.
Hecatonk!
Actually, I was going to call it Hecatoncheires.
Hecatoncheires?
Just like how we have Fionn Mec-Cumhale cheese.
Cumhale cheese? Where'd the cheese come from?
Because it's mac.
Mac and cheese? Oh, Fionn Mac and cheese. How come that didn't show up in the entire episode?
Fionn Mec-Cumhale cheese.
I don't know about that.
Hecatanks.
Heckin' Tonks!
I love saying his name. So I just want to make sure that, if you got the chance to listen to the last episode about our demon recommendations, if you guys like that, go ahead and comment and leave a review. Give us feedback on that. And if you hated it, give us that feedback too. We'll never do it again. That's fine.
Well, and I should probably do it anyway. But also, I would want to at least have a little call out. The Geary McCullough episode, just because you might have skipped over that one, I recommend listening to it because there is some fun demon recommendation in the latter half of it. So if you haven't gotten to listen to that episode, definitely do so you can answer Kim's question. Now, with that out of the way, what do we first think of when we hear the name Hecatoncheires? I mean Hecatoncheires.
Hecatoncheires?
Hecatoncheires. I just think of a strong demon I know from that one series of video games I play that most people have never heard of. Even though I know Greek mythology, I have not heard of the Hecatonch.
Me neither.
Okay, that's good.
I just remember the first time I think you fused him in Persona 5 and I was like, ugh!
Yeah.
That was a response.
The glassed over eyes, the, arms going in all sorts of directions.
I was also very surprised that we have not seen Hecatoncheires before in any other sense. But we haven't.
Okay,
we'll get to it.
That made so much sense that I have absolutely no questions for you. Okay, so let's first talk about Hecatoncheires as he appears in Shin Megami Tensei. He, they, it.
He is fine.
He is fine. But in the introduction, I believe it was Titans or brothers, so it's multiples fused into one.
I'll get to it.
So,
and no, it's not.
well, when you have, say, a Siamese twin, do you address them as, if they're both male, he? Or do you say they?
I don't know. I'm not a Siamese twin.
Okay. I'm trying to politely address Hecatoncheires so they don't get...
You're asking the really weird questions that do not pertain to Hecatoncheires.
We didn't even get to the lore section yet, and I'm already asking the weird questions. So I'm going to say he.
It is he. It is he.
Alright, well, wow. I know I've been saying this a lot, but boy, it is weird because once again, this demon has been around for quite a long time and really hasn't changed a bit. Hecatoncheires has been around since SMT2 and shockingly looks exactly the same way that they do today. But what about mechanically? Well, balancing will always throw this segment off as demons change due to arbitrary reasons to keep the games working, but we do have a pattern forming with the Tonk. It either blocks or resists dark, is weak to light or force, and might also null or resist physical or gunfire, sometimes both, as well as have additional weaknesses tacked on to compensate for that, because that's kind of overpowered, as we just talked about in the last episode.
It is correct. He should not be damaged by weapons.
Really? Okay. Yeah, like physical swords and whatnot?
Correct, yes.
Yikes. Well, that doesn't happen too often for balancing. You don't want to have too many
I
demons
know.
that do that kind of thing
But
without a ton of weaknesses.
There's always so many things in lore that's like, it can't be killed.
Yeah, like Fiamakul was supposed to basically be invincible with a sword that killed in one strike. So, like, you can't put that in for balancing.
He was really strong in the game, too.
Yes, he was. I remember. I have the scars to prove it. Anyway, as for alignment, Hecatoncheires is always dark neutral. A sinister force that answers to no one but itself.
No.
That is what it is.
But I can agree with neutral, yes.
Okay. Dark neutral, is that not... It seems like a chaotic thing that... Well, not chaotic, that's the wrong word.
No, chaotic's right.
Okay, that's something that Zeus just set loose to kill indiscriminately so that he can...
No.
Okay.
No, don't even get into it now. No.
Okay, okay, to be fair, I'm actually knowing more of the story from what happens in Shin Megami Tensei 5 in a side quest, which I will go over, more so than the actual mythology, of which, I will reiterate, I know nothing. Its strongest stat is usually strength, unless you're playing some iteration of Persona 3 where it is endurance instead. Endurance is just vitality by another name. Sometimes vitality matches or nears strength, but it is just as likely its other stats like luck are the second highest. This is a bit of a crapshoot based on the game. In SMT2, its strength is a whopping 33, while its intelligence, magic, and luck are all measly 5s.
Well, I feel like its luck should be high because it has so many arms, it has so many chances to get it right.
Well, it's gonna miss. If it lands a hit, it's probably landing one of the arms, meaning... So, I would call that agility. You know, like, that's like how many chances you have to a hit versus luck. I don't know. It's all sort of the same thing.
I was just saying it's luck. I mean, you have 100 chances.
Your accuracy, though, tends to go with your agility stat. That's where I'm coming from. Anyway, its attitude is kind of hard to describe, though. Usually, it does the alternating caps and lowercase sarcastic voice and speaks in a howling voice like a bizarre monster.
I just read it as the SpongeBob sarcastic
Why
thing
SpongeBob?
every time. Because that's the meme.
It comes from SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Wait,
No, not the actual show. It comes from the meme where it's like, you can't read a sarcastic tone.
I've never seen that one.
Oh. Well, the rest of the internet knows what I'm talking about.
I guess they do. A good thing I addressed them as internet earlier, because they are absolutely going to be informed then, aren't you, internet? Anyway, Hecatoncheires could also just moan and yell in all caps, making it very hard to reason with. Just like a complete loony, like... And then you've got regular dialogue options afterwards, like, be polite or aggressive.
I'm kind of okay with it, but kind of not at the same time.
In terms of combat, Hecatoncheires is a one-trick pony. Powerful, physical attacks.
Yes.
Some hit all, some hit just once.
Correct.
But they all hit hard.
Yes.
It also tends to get abilities that increase its attack or critical hit rate in order to make the physical damage even higher.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yes.
This guy is designed to do one thing, and he does that one thing well, which is punch.
I like it.
So as for story, outside of appearing as a boss in SMT Imagine and Persona 5 Strikers, there's not really a lot of story integrations with the Big Blue Man. In SMT 5, he might as well have his most memorable encounter. As the War of the Gods is ongoing, the Greek division releases a massive Hecatoncheires that kills without discerning sides on the battlefield. The Nahabino meets up with a weakened Valkyrie from the Nordic branch, whose team was slain by the rampaging monstrosity. She requests that you defeat the beast to avenge her team. This begins the quest, He of 100 Hands. You'll find the enormous multi-armed monster in Akibahara under a bridge where you'll engage it in a high-stakes mini-boss encounter. It's fun, and then later you're going to find it roaming as a regular enemy near the Greek area in Taito.
Not like the giant one, right?
This is a giant one that is in the side quest, though. It is under a bridge, but boy, it probably can reach the bridge with how tall it is. Anyway, its design. Hecatoncheires is incredibly consistent with his look. In fact, his original design and updated key artwork is just a repaint over the original illustration. It's not until Persona 5X that we got a very slightly new design. Now, with all of that level of consistency established, Kim, it is time for your quiz question.
Oh boy.
Hecatoncheires is known as those with 100 arms. But how many arms does Hecatoncheires have in Shin Megami Tensei?
I don't know.
A, 6 to 9. B, 10 to 12, C, 13 to 15.
I'm gonna go with 13 to 15.
No, that's just a little too many.
Really?
Yeah, so...
Did they not even model it, like, on the back of its body?
They do, and it's weird. It changes each time, actually. So the answer is B, 10 to 12. His original art up to his Persona 5 redesign shows him with 12 arms, 6 on either side. But his new art and generally all 3D models show him with 10 arms, or 5 on each side. So that's why these were ranges. I had to make sure that it was 10 to 12, because he is both. His key art will show him with 12 arms, and then you'll see him in 3D, where he'll have 10. It gets weirder. His original sprite in SMT2 had 6 arms total, even though his key art showed 12. This was likely due to readability on the Super Famicom, though. I mean, like, you can only have... that would look like a sprite-covered mess if he had, I don't know, anything just close to 100 arms.
Blob. It would look like a dandelion or something.
So Hecatoncheires looks like a gross teal-blue amalgamation of several men conjoined. Its head has 3 mouths and a handful of eyes all arranged in mismatched places with different sizes, to ensure that not a single one forms a main face. We already mentioned its many arms of various amounts, but upon its shoulders is always a long gold chain with a large padlock. Instead of looking chained up, it instead appears to be wearing this as fashion.
I feel like it's a symbolic thing for its mythology.
Right, for being, like, chained up by the gods or something like that,
yeah.
But it's absolutely wearing this as a necklace. Now, outside of its original sprite on the Super Famicom, it is shown to be kneeling down, whereas in SMT2, it stands up. Not sure if there's some relevance to kneeling, but the Tonk is almost always kneeling. He only stands in SMT2 because his lower half is actually a color palette swap of another demon, so don't look too deeply into that. It's also the first time he shows up, so, like, you know, they were kind of not sure how they were designing the guy just yet, and, of course, saving time on sprite comparisons is something that I can understand why they did that.
I mean, I have a theory as to why he might be kneeling all the time, but we'll get into that later with the lore story.
I hope you don't forget.
I'm worried I will, because that is not in my
No.
script. It's not something I thought to address, but part of it is in my script, so I'm hoping I'll remember it when I get there.
That'd be really awkward if we don't. Now, if it's moving around in the overworld in SMT5, it can be seen swimming through the air while its legs are dangling behind. I mean, if you had 100 arms, why would you even kick your feet while swimming anyway?
But it's in the air.
Yep, it's in the air. If you happen to live in a country like China censoring demon art in Persona 5X, then you'll get a hilarious change in the Persona 5 key artwork. He has tight gray shorts that are practically painted on Hecatoncheires' waist. He was already a Ken doll down there, so the shorts mean nothing. Before, he was a formless monster, but apparently someone in China got aroused by that heckin' tonk, so now he's got to wear some tight shorts. Finally, he gets some funny artwork for the Demi-Kids games. Now, he's a purple Machamp from Pokemon with an extra set of arms, a leotard, and matching booty socks. That means he has 2 eyes and 1 mouth. It's really uncomfortable looking. It is so bad, it is a perfect contender for a new Machamp Mega Evolution.
Oh, that's okay. They've already smoothed out all of Machamp's muscles. It can't get worse than that.
Yeah, the new Pokemon game just came out with a bunch of new Mega Evolutions, and this is about as awful as how those look. It's what I would expect. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will dive into the lore of the Hecatoncheires. Heckin' Tonk! And we're back with more Demonica. Now it is time to ask the question, Kim, who or what is Hecatoncheires?
Hold up, I have to address this.
Yeah?
Are you saying Falcon Punch?
Falcon Punch!
I don't know why I didn't realize that earlier.
Falcon Punch! No, actually, if that's the case, it was a complete coincidence.
Oh, okay.
Heckin' Tonk! But I would expect him to do that.
Definitely. Okay, let's unravel this giant arm ball mess that you've created.
He of 100 arms, but also 6, but also 12, but also 10.
Let's just untangle these a little bit. Okay. In Greek mythology, the Hecatoncheires were 3 sons born to Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. Just primordial beings. They're not...
They were born, but they were primordial beings. And also, you said they.
Yes, I said there were 3 sons.
Yes.
The Hecatoncheires were 3 sons.
The Hecatoncheires is 3... Okay. I'm trying...
I will get there!
This is weird already.
They were part of the original giants that roamed the earth, responsible for wielding clouds and wind. They were the cause of the stormy season in ancient Greece, along with their 3 Cyclops brothers.
Okay. So now, hold on. No conjoinedness yet, right? Just...
The Okay, think of it like this. Hecatoncheires is a species. Only 3 exist of that species.
They are brothers, though.
They are brothers.
Okay, so why don't we just call them siblings? And they're these 3 independent siblings.
Yes.
Are causing storms and other fun, awful things that you can cause.
With their older brothers, the Cyclops.
Okay, which I can see being... To me, I assume that's a species.
No, there's only 3 of those, too.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
There's only 3 Hecatoncheires and 3 Cyclops.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. I feel like we're going to have to do that a lot in this one.
Get confused? Yeah, because almost every ethnicity had some sort of Cyclops of people who were basically finding mammoth skulls and seeing a giant hole in the middle and going, "This giant human head had 1 eyeball in the middle."
They are terrifying to look at.
Yeah, they're really scary. Our daughter was walking around a museum with us, and she got really scared when she saw a mammoth skeleton, and it was probably because of the fact that it looks like it has a giant eye in the center.
I would agree, and probably walking down to a dark basement.
So anyway, the Cyclops, that's why it shows up all over the place, but it looks like specifically in Greek mythology, there were 3 of them.
There are 3.
Okay, so did they only find 3 mammoth skulls?
I don't know. Okay, let's get on to it. Let's explain what the Hecatoncheires are.
All right.
The Hecatoncheires are also known as Centimanes.
Centimanes?
Yes.
100 hands?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't...
Centi is 100.
I never really heard it called too much that name. For the most part, I actually heard it called Hecatoncheires.
I did see
more
that
often
a couple places.
than I saw Hecatoncheires.
Yeah.
So they were said to have 100 hands and 50 heads. Now, from... And I mean, SMT has no heads.
Well, that means each of the 3 brothers.
So now, from what I read, each head has a brain, but they are controlled by 1 main mind. So by that logic, each head gets 2 arms and 2 hands.
Oh, no, the 3 brothers are conjoined.
No!
No. Okay, then
there are 3 separate giants.
Okay.
They each have 100 arms and hands.
Got it.
They each have 50 heads.
I appreciate that you stepped right into the biology this time. And I'm still confused, because look at that monster.
They are considered giants in Greek mythology.
Okay.
Being that they are the tallest of their siblings. I mean, I feel like in, like, Norse mythology, like, giants are, like, this mythos thing. This is just, they're the tallest ones.
Yeah, Norse giant to me probably just means, like, oh, the 6 to 7 feet tall people.
Or, like, the originals, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Okay. Although they don't have a specific size, unlike what we got with Gira Makala, went in that whole really long time.
Yeah.
But generally, it said the children of Gaia and Uranus...
went into that hole a really long time. That's what you said.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Marianas Trench. We got really deep in that hole.
Oh my god, don't make it worse.
Anyway.
We were ankle deep in that hole. Just listen to that episode.
A little bit into the space, too. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it was mostly in space.
But it was said that generally the children of Uranus and Gaia were approximately 50 to 80 feet tall.
Okay, now, is this like the Echidna and Typhon, where they had children of, like, all the monsters kind of thing?
So, Uranus and Gaia are responsible for Hecatoncheires,
Okay.
Cyclops, and the Titans.
Oh, I watched Disney's Hercules.
Well, there's 18 Titans, not 4.
I'm aware of 4 of them.
And those were just random elementals.
Yeah,
I'm not
were
even
just
sure they were
elementals.
Titans.
No.
Anyway, let's keep getting going. I feel like you're just going to keep getting off track with this.
Yeah, the Titans are probably closer to what I saw in Final Fantasy VII.
So, the Hecatoncheires were described to be so muscular,
Yeah.
that no weapon can pierce their bodies.
Wait, well, hold on.
I said nothing about their skin.
It's just the muscle. So it means you're cutting the skin. if it's their muscle, you cut straight through it like it's tissue paper, and then you get to the skin and it bounces right off, or the muscle and you bounce through. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
I was trying to find an explanation, but everything just said they can't be pierced by weapons. So I was actually really excited to hear that with SMT. That's kind of their thing.
Okay, yeah.
So,
it happened like a time or two.
let's go a little bit more with their family. Let's figure out their family situation. So the Hecatoncheires are the youngest of the siblings.
Okay.
Then it's the Cyclops. And then it's the Titans.
Is there an order to the Hecatoncheires, or are they just triplets?
They're just triplets. Yeah, they were all born at the same time.
Okay.
So,
Is Cyclops the same way?
yes.
I see.
To Gaia, the Earth, which the womb is in the center of the Earth. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that.
How do you impregnate the Earth?
The sky did it. Ask the sky.
You mean like when Theia, that Mars-sized object, collided with the Earth and created the moon by smashing them together? That's how you impregnate the Earth?
I don't know.
I can't think of any other way.
Not even Zeus can figure it out.
And he's the professional.
So I'm not going to go into too much of the detail with the Titans or the Cyclops because, we'll probably, get into them later. I don't know. But you can consider them like the ancient gods. And the Hecatoncheires are the youngest of all of them, as I've mentioned before. And I want to consider them ancient gods because they were around before Zeus and all of them.
Oh, really? I mean, you said they were primordial. I just assumed Zeus also was.
Well, Uranus and Gaia are primordial. I think the Hecatoncheires might be considered primordial, but I'm not too sure.
I think you said that earlier, but I could be confused, as I get confused a lot listening to the lore of these things.
This lore that makes no sense. As mentioned earlier, there are 3 Hecatoncheires named Cotus.
Oh, they have names.
Briareus and Gi.
Sorry. They sound really phallic. We started with coitus.
Cotus.
Okay.
Cotus.
Not coitus.
Briareus. Gyges.
Oh my.
Wait, I might have said that one wrong. Gyges. No.
Is it Gyges from Earthbound? Gyges?
Gyges. That sounds better.
Gyges? Man, I was really hoping it was Gyges.
I'm really glad we don't have to say that name again the rest of this podcast.
Gyges.
I don't think any of them in SMT use that name. No demons use those names.
I don't think so. No, I think that they just stick with Hecatoncheires as the single thing. That's why I was confused and assumed that the 3 brothers were conjoined.
Yeah, and
creating
so that's
extra heads and hands.
I thought that was kind of weird on their part because they would usually go with a named thing and not necessarily the species of that.
Do you want to fact check?
A little bit. Like,
right.
I wanted to look up the demons, but I wasn't too sure. But
Let's find out. And we're back with that lightning fast fact check. You couldn't even hear me typing on my keyboard that time. I was so quick. Editing is amazing. Anyway, I'm sorry. So it turns out one of the 3 of those Hecatoncheires is actually in Last Bible 3, and that is its only appearance. How do you pronounce this one again?
Briareus.
Briareus. So while we were looking this up, Kim seemed to go on a bit of a rant. Like, why is it this one? What's going on?
So this one, Briareus, we'll get to it more in the pop culture section, is also usually the named one used in other pop culture things. I never see the other 2.
Is this important in mythology whatsoever, or is you're just one of the 3?
Not that I could tell. It was just one of the 3. Maybe it's the easiest name to pronounce.
I don't know, like Gruyere and coitus are a little hard to say.
Gruyere.
Cheesy sex.
Okay. So now for the big thing you've been waiting. The big narrative exposition origin story. Are you ready?
Why does he kneel? That's right.
That's at the very end of the story, but okay.
Okay, never mind.
It said that the Hecatoncheires were so feared by Uranus that he imprisoned them. Now, some sources say he imprisoned them in Gaia until Tartarus was constructed and then moved them to Tartarus. Others say that he imprisoned them in Tartarus just directly.
Well, if they're primordial, sometimes that means you live outside of time and your stories can be complete nonsense. That's what Norse stuff begins and ends all at the same time. So I don't know if Greco-Roman does any nonsense with the time, or it's just bad
and I did have to
storytelling.
look this up because some stories specifically say that Uranus imprisoned them inside Gaia's womb.
But just put them back?
Yes.
I'm sorry. You were a mistake. I'm gonna put you right back where you came from.
And then I had to look it up. I was like, okay, in terms of Gaia, what is considered the womb? And that is the center of the earth.
The core. I would
This is
assume
the core
it's
of
the
the earth.
core of the earth. So just because storms suck, we put all three of these.
And they're like impenetrable monsters. I mean, I was
Sure.
repulsed by it a little bit when I saw it, so I kind of get it.
Okay, sure, but that doesn't mean they need to suffer in the core of the earth for the end of time.
Well, no, they got moved to Tartarus.
And Tartarus is better?
I guess. I don't know. So, as you can imagine, this made Gaia super mad. I mean, come on. He's hating on her babies. Like, how dare he?
And he shoved them back inside of her vajayjay.
So she plotted the downfall of her husband, Uranus, with one of her sons, the Titan, Kronos.
I know that one.
Yes, yeah, that Kronos. The one that eats everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I think he's also a demon.
I think he is too, which is why I'm not going to go really into him right now.
Okay, yeah, expect that to be another thing.
So Gaia helps him rise to power over Uranus, who's like the top dog right now. And in exchange for helping him, she wants the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclops. I forgot to mention the Cyclops also got imprisoned with the Hecatoncheires.
Oh, well, they're not like indestructible monsters making.
I don't know. They might be. I didn't look them up too much.
That's who knows.
But they do make thunder and lightning, so.
Okay, so they are brothers to the Hecatoncheires.
Right.
Well, then what's Zeus do? Isn't that Zeus's thing?
This is before Zeus. Calm down.
Well, then, so he steals their thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can't get into all of it. Clearly, we'll have a Zeus episode later.
Yeah, I'm aware.
But
But
that's just gonna sound like some weird, like, poppy romance porn story or something.
no,
Like,
no. No poppy, or especially not romance. It's going to be, and then Zeus saw those mortal titties.
Are we gonna have to talk about how Loki had sex with a horse at some point?
Absolutely.
So, what I was saying, to get back on point.
Yeah, you do that.
So, Gaia was asking Kronos, once he became top dog, to release the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclops. He did not do that.
So
He said no.
So hold on. So you telling me the introduction quote is wrong again?
I'm not to Zeus yet. Gaia asked Kronos to release the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclops.
Yeah.
He said no,
Okay.
because they're too strong.
Okay.
He said no.
All right. So never mind. It has nothing to do with the quote that I had at the beginning, which involved Zeus letting
Okay,
them go,
so-
and Zeus doesn't seem to exist yet.
Now we're going to... So now Zeus wants to be the top dog.
Okay, Zeus exists.
The Zeus story. So him, Poseidon, and Hades now have to wage war against the reigning Titans.
Okay.
So all the Titans are like the reigning gods right now. Kronos is their top of the top. Gaia, mad at Kronos now, her son, tells Zeus about the Hecatoncheires being imprisoned and how to release them and how strong they are. Naturally, he releases them to wage war on the Titans. Now here's the great part. It's pop quiz time.
Oh, great.
How did the Hecatoncheires defeat the Titans?
Rock, paper, scissors.
A, they threw rocks at them.
Oh my god. Am I right?
B, they ripped off their heads. Or C, they threw them into the sun.
Oh my god, that's so intense. But I'm hoping that my rock, paper, scissors is right. So they threw rocks at them.
They threw rocks at the Titans.
Rock, paper, scissors.
The Hecatoncheires threw rocks at the Titans. 300 rocks. One for each hand. And they won.
That's so silly. It didn't even have anything to do with, like, their...
I was laughing so hard at this. Like, the battle was just over. They just got pelted with 300 rocks, and they were like, I'm out.
going home, man. This stinks. I don't like rocks.
So Zeus tosses the Titans into Tartarus. Don't want to deal with them.
Tosses. He picks
Yes.
them up and that's more impressive than the rock
I don't know
throwing.
if that's true. That was my own verbiage. And imprisoning them, and the Hecatoncheires went with them to Tartarus.
Why? I was just gonna ask, how do you get them back now? So
But this time-
what about Gaia?
Hold on.
Yeah.
This time they went there to guard the Titans from leaving Tartarus. So the Hecatoncheires aren't required to stay. They're just guarding. And Cerberus is over here, I guess, doing his own thing, guarding.
Ask what Cerberus doing? That's the same job.
This is different parts. Cerberus is taking care of the dead and the undead mortals.
Okay.
And the Hecatoncheires are taking care of the Titans.
But they do the exact same job now.
They're guarding.
So the Hecatoncheires were just
Cerberus
this
eats
is
them.
better than being a prisoner here. I might as well be the guard.
So the story's not over.
Good. Because this is good.
Apparently, the Hecatoncheires get real bored.
Playing rock, paper,
Since
scissors.
the Titans don't do anything, they decide to leave their bodies and take on a human form.
The Titans?
No, the Hecatoncheires.
Oh, good.
So they kneel down to take their guarding stance, and they become humans.
So if they are kneeling, they are currently possessing or
So their
metaphysically
bodies...
becoming a human?
Right, so when they're kneeling, their bodies were turning to stone to guard Tartarus.
Okay.
With the Titans that weren't doing anything anyway. Like, did not even care to rise to power again. Like, they just stopped caring, I guess. I don't know.
They were too embarrassed after what happened, as they should have been.
And so, yeah, their original bodies turn to stone, kneeling in front of Tartarus, and they become humans and live out their days as immortal humans. Yup.
Would that explain, like, some of the characters that we might see in pop culture? I don't want to get too far ahead.
No,
but
I don't think so.
They're more represented as the monsters.
Yes, usually.
Okay, because that's odd. So, because this kind of would fall into my section of the Shin Megami Tensei part, Briareus that we see in Last Bible is totally a human knight with with a halberd.
Maybe this is just the human version now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick one, I feel like you should be choosing that version, like the end of the story. The story's happened, but...
I mean, maybe that's what that SMT one is representing, whereas, like, the monster one is the one before they take on human forms.
True.
So,
I don't even remember if Hecatoncheires was even in this game. And nope, it was not in Last Bible. So that's really strange. So the one of the Hecatoncheires just kind of leveled up into its human form, and the others just, I don't know, pissed off, played in the other games instead.
Yeah, the ones with the names I can't pronounce, yeah.
Yeah, they went into the games that people bought.
So now, with all that being said, I like to check the timeline about when things were written.
Yeah.
And they were first written about the same time as Cerberus, same book, the Hesiod's Theogony. So that's all the same. So any of that poetry coming out at that same time, approximately 730 to 700 BC, is the time for Cerberus. I feel like any of the Greek stuff we talk about is going to come for that, because that is like the book that explains the Greek mythology. So anything that comes after that is influenced by that.
I wonder where they got that stuff from, because they took over some area and that was like part of their folklore and they adopted it over time.
Well, I thought I did. There was one episode where I was researching what was happening at that time, and there wasn't too much.
It would have been Cerberus.
Yeah, it would have been, and I don't think there was actually all that much going on. I mean, yeah, everybody was conquering everybody then. That's just what you do in 700 BC.
What else is there to do?
Right? I mean, it's just like loot, pillage, and rape. That's really all they got going on.
Yeah. The Romans were crazy idealists for creating the Colosseum, where they could basically hold ancient football tournaments where you just have a bunch of strong guys doing strong guy things, except they usually ended up bloody and dead by the end of it, which
they didn't
made it
have
more
100
exciting.
arms.
Yeah. And impenetrable skin / muscles. That sure would have helped.
Nothing ever said it. The skin was impenetrable.
I corrected myself.
Nothing. So do we still hear about Hecatoncheires today? I mean, clearly we see him in SMT.
I'm gonna go with a bold no.
You're wrong.
Okay.
We see Hecatoncheires a lot.
In Final Fantasy?
Yes!
Yeah, of course.
In literature, just the same Greek mythos, he shows up in Percy Jackson.
Okay.
Specifically, Briareus.
Oh, well, all right. Why? Why?
I even saw some Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it was in Japanese.
There's always a favorite child. There's always a
Briareus.
favorite child.
Which I think was the middle child, I feel like, but they were triplets, so I guess there was no real middle child.
But they're still favorites. It doesn't matter.
Right. But I thought that was weird that there was a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Hecatoncheires in Japanese. It was like a ghosty thing with a bunch of arms.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Cerberus, because...
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't understand any of that gameplay anymore. It was gibberish to me. trying to read what the card did.
It was hard to explain when it came out, and I remember playing it like, this is so confusing. Why are there so many zeros for no reason, making the math hard? And, I'm like, what, 6 to 8? I'm like, this is stupid. Why aren't we playing Pokemon instead? And then, of course, little did I know how crazy that game would get over the course of the next, 25 years? 30? How old is Yu-Gi-Oh? 26 years.
26 years?
Yikes.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, 26 years of power creep does some things to your game.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on anymore in that game. Anyway, really off topic here.
The Hecatoncheires is apparently a card. Okay.
As you could probably guess, Kratos has to fight one in God of War Ascension.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember Kratos fighting one. Because I've played a good amount of the God of War games, and I've left always disappointed that there's not enough mythological stuff in it. You just fight a lot of the same things in each of the games.
I mean, I kind of looked at this one. I mean, it's a giant, so it's kind of hard to... Which isn't really a giant in terms of Kratos. Kratos is really freaking tall, and if the Hecatoncheires is only like 80 feet tall, that's still really tall.
That towers over you.
Well, anyway, so the one in God of War is called Aegeon, which is another name for Briareus.
Oh, I was going to say, that sounds kind of like Gruyere, or whatever the cheese one was.
No. It's always Briareus.
Okay. Never coitus,
and
huh?
As you said, they did show up in Final Fantasy.
All right. Now, as their named versions or Hecatoncheires?
Hecatoncheires.
Okay.
Oh, well, Hecatoncheires.
Hecatoncheires. Well, yeah.
But it's none of the games I played. 3?
Okay.
And 13 are the main ones, and then a bunch of spin-offs.
Oh, really?
Like, it's in a lot of games. It's not just 2 games. And also in Bravely Default, so it's also a Square game.
Okay, yeah.
But that didn't look anything like a Hecatoncheires, but it was called Hecatoncheires, so...
It's the same thing, though.
I mean, it had multiple arms, I guess. And of course, they appear in Dungeons and Dragons. Everything shows up in Dungeons and Dragons.
If it doesn't appear in Dungeons and Dragons, just use your imagination, and you just made it appear in Dungeons and Dragons.
So I feel like I guess I can say it as the archetype, or like the idea of Hecatoncheires appears in like everything, though. The idea of having 100-armed monster or 100-headed monster with 100 arms shows up in a lot of things, even if it's not specifically named the Hecatoncheires.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the idea of the Dullahan, where we have a headless horseman, our current pop culture all the time.
This is a guy with the opposite problem.
Right. So like they'll be like, oh, it's a monster with 1,000 swords or 100 swords or whatever. And it's a reference to the Hecatoncheires, even if they don't call it that. So that comes up a lot. But that's really all I've got about the Hecatoncheires then, which I feel like is a lot. That's pretty much their big story. I don't know if maybe Briareus has some other story going on I don't know anything about. But apparently,
he's the favorite.
Everybody loves him, so...
I wonder if any of the other multi-armed characters that we have in SMT are older than the Hecatoncheires, and it could, draw its lineage back in that direction, like Shiva or Kali,
Right. I don't know. They're probably around the same time, I would imagine.
I don't know.
But Shiva,
that's totally different parts of the world.
And Kali, I feel like they have multiple arms for other things. It's more like a balancing of powers, and each arm represents something versus like...
Well, sure.
Hecatoncheires is just supposed to be an abomination.
All right. Yeah, no. Well, there's meaning behind what Shiva's arms are, and there's meaning behind the Hecatoncheires' stupid amount of arms.
The stupid amount is that there's just stupid amount. Well, and I feel like it's funny that, they're looking at their brothers, the Cyclops, the Cyclops are looking at the Hecatoncheires who have 50 heads, and the Cyclops are like, I get one eyeball.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it's like
get one eyeball.
That you could look at the Hecatoncheires design in SMT, and I could probably trick you into saying, yeah, this is actually their design of the Cyclops. You see, there's the main eye in the middle, and there's just a bunch of, weird ones all over the place. It looks like a monster. Yeah, it's Greek mythology,
right,
man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if... I feel like what you said with the Cyclops is they appear in a lot of other cultures, too.
Right.
So, I assume SMT has a Cyclops, so we'll probably talk about a Cyclops.
Oh, yeah, first game. And, second game. Yeah, I played those with the Cyclops in it. I remember his sprite now.
Okay, well, I don't know how long it's going to take before we go back, but apparently, yeah, those guys control lightning and thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And so, during the War of the Titans, they gave Zeus that power.
Yeah, it looks like they haven't appeared in a long time, though. So, yeah, it's a shame. But
Do they have hooves?
Yes, they have hooves.
Okay, sure. Why not?
And one horn.
Why not?
They're a giant one-eyed flying purple people eater.
They've got to be really jealous of their younger brothers. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I mean, how do they, like, eat their food or just figure out which mouth they have to feed? Or do they have to feed all the mouths?
It's all individual brains and one big brain and...
Like an octopus.
They're primordial. They probably don't have to eat.
If it's like an octopus, it means, like, each of the hands are alive and doing their own thought process and just moving on their own accord, and the main brain's like, cut it out over there. Get me a bite of the pear.
Well, and that's the thing. So, just like anything else that has multiple heads, it shows up as like multiple personality issues all the time, and like that kind of stuff always comes up.
Yeah, but with like Cerberus, we're like, oh yeah, it's got multiple heads because it'll like snarl and bite at each other. But like Hecatoncheires, what does it like slap itself in the face?
Yeah, it slaps itself, pokes its eyes.
Oh my god.
But also, I'm trying to figure out how it's working. You should see what it looks like in Final Fantasy, because that one's a little bit more accurate than I feel like the SMT one is.
I feel like this should look like if like Gravelord Nito from Dark Souls had flesh on him.
Yes.
Just like contorted body parts all over the place. Actually, Gravelord Nito with flesh is the Rotten from Dark Souls 2, so never mind, that's not exactly what I was thinking, but... Yeah, anyway, just realized that existed.
Oh, you did that yourself.
Yeah,
you
I
walked
did.
right into that one.
At least I solved it on camera, though. I mean, that would have been embarrassing.
You mean on microphone?
On microphone, that's right. You only see my waveforms if you're watching this on YouTube.
You sound so disappointed by that. Anyway, we should probably be wrapping it up.
I agree. And be sure to tune in to the next episode where we will summon a new demon that begins with the letter I. Let us know what your favorite demon is that begins with I and what you thought of this episode. We would love to hear from you as always. You can find me online at HamsterBomb on YouTube, where I host a long list of Let's Plays, reviews, and live streams. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care not to let the demons possess you while you sleep. And we will see you all in the next episode.
Bye-bye.